Hey guys, it is Wednesday and I got off my full-time job early, so I'm over at the storage unit. I'm going to do a little bit of maintenance. But before I get to that, I had one of the subscribers ask me about the way I did the spring assist system. Now I can't go into real detail. I only got like one bar in my GoPro, but the way I did it is I got this garage spring. I got this at Home Depot. I think this is good for like 160 pounds, something like that. And I just got it mounted to one of my frames with a U-bolt. I know it's difficult to see in this lighting. And then a cable that runs up to this pulley, which then runs up through my bed, comes to another pulley, goes up and connects to a eye-bolt on my gate there, on the first gate. Now I need to change the system because as it is right now, I'm not getting a whole lot of advantage because of how low this pulley is. So when the gate comes down, it only comes from here down to that point on it. So what I'm going to do is when I get a chance, I got to take this pulley, I'm going to move it up here on top of my stop bar. That way it's up much higher. But that's gonna be a later thing. Anyways, so you know, that's real simple. Normally what people do is on trailers, most of them don't have 8-foot long bifolding ramps. I had to do that because of how high the back of my truck is off the ground. What most people do is they have a Gorilla Lift on the top of this rail here that connects to it. And the only reason I couldn't do that was, one, my ramp is on the inside of my rail, not flush with the back side of it. Then I have these top supports, and then it's also a bifolding ramp, so it wouldn't help as much. It would still help, but the main reason I couldn't use a Gorilla Lift is my gates. I have my 9-foot fold-down gates here, and those only about 5 foot from where the gate starts to the back. So it's not long enough to put a Gorilla Lift on here. And I couldn't put my spring up there because there's not enough length for the spring to extend. The spring extends out to like 67 inches. So here, sure, it kind of bounces around, but it extends from here all the way out to right here to full length. And this spring can still extend it a little bit. The way I got it set up, it stops like right here. So I had to find somewhere where I can mount it, the pulley in the spring that would give all that length. So that's how that setup is. In the future, I still want to find a better way to do it, to figure out, because these ramps aren't super heavy, but they're heavy enough to where they're a pain. They're not undoable. It's not super bad, but it's a little awkward. I would like to make these out of aluminum in the future, so they're much lighter. But that's a later thing. I'd have to come up with a ramp design that's strong enough to support the mower, but still be light. Anyways, so over here to the maintenance we're doing, I gotta get in here to the hydraulic parking brake. I've got a couple hoses that are leaking. I don't know if you can see in there. I'll pull it out here in a little bit, but I got a couple of hoses that are leaking. The metal lines, and in the spring I had one of them that rusted out and busted, and I couldn't disengage the brakes. So the way this works, instead of on a big truck like this, instead of having air brakes, it has this parking brake and it has a brake on the transmission. So the spring closes the brake and keeps the whole drive line locked for parking. And then this is on when you start and you need to move the vehicle, and it disengages that parking brake. If I lose pressure on this, truck can't move, so I got to get this taken care of. So I'm going to pull off those two hoses and take over to the hose shop and have some new hoses made. When I get this all tore apart, I'll come show y'all a better look at what this looks like, and I'll see you in a little bit. Alright, so this is what this system looks like. This, I believe, is actually my vacuum canister. But anyways, you got this. It's pretty much a hydraulic motor with a pump, and it opens up, creates a pressure that pulls a cable back there, which releases it. You see right there, that's the hose that I replaced in the spring. But the problem appears to be, which hose is it? Oh. It's all wet right here. So I think it's this hose right here that goes to this T-junction. Yeah, I believe that's it. Everything else is dry above that point. So that is my bad hose. Down here on the coast it's really salty. So I wouldn't be surprised if it's got a small pinhole or something in it somewhere. There might be another hose back there too. Yeah, there is, but it looks like it's aluminum and it's dry. So I'm going to replace this hose right here, which is on that T section, and then I think that's all I have to do. This one here looks fine. It's dry, and I think it's aluminum. Let me wipe this off and see what we got. Alright, so here is that metal line. Now at first I didn't think that it was rusted through because it was so caked in the oil and stuff that there was no way it could rust. But then I did a couple of run tests to see where the fluid was coming from after I wiped everything off. And you can't see it, it's next to impossible, but right here this is a little rust ring. And what this is right where a strap held the hose in place. So I guess that strap held a little bit of moisture, and it rusted just a little tiny pinhole through there. Can't even really see it. Let me see if I can scrape it off. Alright, I can't see it. I don't know exactly where the hole is, but it was coming from right here. It was definitely coming from this hose, so I'm going to go take it to the shop and get it replaced. Probably cost like 20 or 30 bucks. It'll be replaced with a flexible high pressure hose, so I don't have to worry about them shaping it. But I'll see y'all back here in a little while when I get it installed. And I don't know, I think I might do a gear review today if I get back soon enough. So that'll probably be on a separate video though, so I'll see y'all in a little bit. Alright, so I'm back at the storage unit. I got my new flexible hose. I got me a little bit of brake fluid and some brake cleaner to kind of clean everything up when I'm done, and spray some of this stuff. I also got some motor oil. One bad thing about my truck is it does have a rear main leak, and I put some rear mains to learn it before, but it doesn't seem to completely help. But it's not a big leak, so I mean, I can only do what I can do. The truck's got 240,000 miles on it. So I'm gonna get this hose back on, and I'll talk to y'all in a second. Oh, one thing. We got a letter today from one of our customers. The customer that we did that big cleanup job for and weeding job for over the weekend. She paid us our check for the amount that we had charged her. She sent us a check as opposed to paying online through the invoice, and she sent us a thank you card. That's the kind of customer that I like, that I want to see. That means we made her happy. She liked the work that we did, and she's going to continue to use us. In fact, we're going back this weekend to look at a couple more things that she wants done. So that's a win for me. A happy customer for me. It means we did our job good, and I like that. So I'll get this all put back together, and I'll see you all here in a second. Alright guys, so I ran into a problem. it always seems like whenever I do automotive work of any kind, I always run into some kind of problem. My problem was the threading on this elbow, which goes here on the, I guess the hydraulic cylinder, was stripped off. Luckily, it's the same threads as the end of it, and because I got flexible hose, I was able to just bypass it completely and put it all the way, you know, just put it straight on there without having that elbow. Luckily, that's the case. Hopefully it stays and works. I'll let you know if the line explodes when I test it here in a few minutes after I tighten it down. Alright, so we have success. No leaks coming from that hose. Everything seems to be fine. I popped the hood in order to check the oil because of the oil leak. You can see it looks like a lot, but it's really not that bad. So, like I said, when I had this truck in the shop, I went ahead and when I bought it, it had a blown head gasket, blown exhaust manifold gasket, and it wasn't firing on 3 cylinders. So I had the heads pulled off, rebuilt, remachined. I had the and you know, the whole new top end job pretty much. So the top end of this engine on the inside is pretty much brand new, just the bottom end was never changed. So it's kind of it runs good. It's just the 366 big block just was not a fast accelerating engine. It just doesn't have it in it. Whew. But no, I mean, the truck's working great so far for what we want, for what we're doing with it. And yeah, it only gets 6 miles a gallon, but here in Corpus Christi, the furthest we drive it is to the dump, and that's only like 15 miles away. We don't have any jobs in Port Aransas yet, and when we do, that's only probably 20 miles away from where I'm at right now. And it has a 55 gallon tank, so you know, the tank lasts a while. We're gonna put fuel in it on Friday, but I think we maybe have only used like 10 gallons. Or maybe 17. We'll see where it's at. I've been keeping track of each time I fill up. Last time I only had to put 17 gallons in it. So we'll see. Anyway, so that's gonna be it for this video. I am actually going to hop up on the bed of the truck and do the review on the Milwaukee Quick Lock system. So y'all stay tuned for that in the next day or two.